Good morning, grade 8. Today we are looking at active and passive voice. Please write today's date, the 13th of May, with the appropriate heading. Grade 8, you are required to write down the slides and to make notes, and please use color pens as you do so. It is just easier to study for examination purpose. Let's look at the slide. Active and passive voice. There are two special forms for verbs called active voice and passive voice. Active voice is the normal voice. This is the voice that we use most of the time. In the active voice, the object receives the action of the verb. For example, the interviewer asks questions. We've got the subject, the verb, and the object. The interviewer is the subject, the verb, the doing word, asks questions, object. Grade 8, we now need to take that sentence and change it into the passive voice. The subject receives the action of the verb now. Questions, that was the object, now becomes the subject. And interviewer, which was the subject, now becomes the object. They have switched places. And it's going to read as follows. The questions were asked by the interviewer. Okay, note the following. Write it down. 1. Passive voice has the word by. 2. The subject and the object has switched places. Interviewer was the subject and has now become the object. The word questions was the object and has now become the subject. The structure of passive voice is simple. It's the subject plus the auxiliary verb plus the main verb in past tense plus the word by and the object. You need to study this form so that you will be able to complete these questions. Okay, let's look at the examples. Look at of passive voice. We've got the subject, the auxiliary verb, the main verb in the past participle tense. It's got an ed at the end, and then the object that has the word by. The teacher is interviewed by the learner. Zebras are chased by lions. I am helped by my partner. The game is played by the boys. We use the passive voice when we want to make the active object more important. For example, the former president Mandela is loved by many people. The fact that the former President Mandela is loved is more important than who does the loving. Grade 8, now it's your turn. Complete the following activity. Change these sentences from active voice to passive voice. The first one has been done for you. DJ Phonic played a song. DJ Phonic was the subject. Played the verb. The song, the object. Now the song becomes the subject. A song was played by DJ Phonic. Okay, you're going to complete the rest. Now you're going to rewrite the following sentences into the active voice. The verbs here are not regular. The first one has been done for you. Remember, we have done regular and irregular verbs a week ago. Irregular words, the whole word changes depending on the tense. Regular verbs we only add D or ED. Let's look at the first one. Sweets are bought by the children. And the answer is going to be children buy sweets. Please complete the following activity. Grade 8, I need to ask you once again. Please read your novel and complete the questions in the back of your script. Each chapter has about 5 or 6 questions. Please make sure that you stay up to date. We are also going to start with the short stories and folklore, and you will not be able to answer those questions if you have not completed Gulliver's. It is important that you first complete Gulliver's before continuing with the short stories and the folklore.